Hello world, my name is Tim Roswick, and today we're going to talk about how to get more clicks on Steam. I don't have all the answers, but I do have one pro strat that I want to share that I've used to sort of build up the amount of people that are interested in my game, and kind of it's a reverse process, kind of backwards from what most people do. So real quick, most people, what they do is they're going to launch a game on Steam. They're going to launch a game on any one of these platforms. They'll build the game, they'll finish the game, right? And then when they're most of the way done and they have to get the store page up, they're like, oh shit, I gotta like make some screenshots and like do some stuff and throw some stuff up there, right? So that's what I did for a long time. I've made dozens of games, and I've probably done that most of the time. But one of the things I started to do for Cypherpunk, which was slightly different, is I did that process backwards, right? So we are a little over 400 hours in the game as of the current devlogs, and it was going to be a 1,000-hour project, right? And so I wanted to get that stuff out as early as possible because I wanted to make sure I'm on the right track. So we actually did it backwards. One of the things I did is I started working on a trailer before the gameplay was even solid. Okay, so we're literally sitting here working on the trailer, and I had to do some crazy stuff for the trailer to even get a trailer out. Like we had to do some live action stuff. I had to go to Fiverr and hire some actors to say some things. It was an interesting little experiment, and that trailer will be out soon. I'll share that. But in that process, I started to pay attention to the game, right? So like, okay, I want to make the game look visually interesting in the trailer. So I'm recording this footage, and I'm just like, it's not grabbing me from a trailer perspective. Right. And this is my game. This is like the thing that I'm trying to show off in the trailer. And the game, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is not okay. We need to do something different, because I thought it looked good. And then I'm sitting here putting it in a trailer, and it's not looking good. So one of the things I did is I paused the whole trailer production. I went onto Steam and I grabbed a bunch of screenshots of Steam. And then I brought them into Photoshop, and I started photoshopping logos and color schemes based 100% on their visibility in the Steam store. And so I'm faking these Steam screenshots, right? I'm literally taking a screenshot of Steam, and I'm photoshopping my game into that spot, and I'm thinking about how it looks. I'm thinking about whether or not it stands out. I'm thinking about whether or not it blends in with some of the other games. I'm thinking about the color scheme of Steam itself and trying not to use those colors because I want something that contrasts highly. And as I'm doing this, I'm also refining the logo, because the game didn't have a logo yet at this point. And I'm refining all of this to try and make sure that the logo itself is interesting and fits within the Steam format. And what I mean by Steam format is like one of the images that you get is a little thumbnail image that's a little horizontally longer than it is vertical. So if you have a vertical logo, it can be kind of weird to try and fit that into a horizontal image. And so I think it makes more sense for the thumbnail to have a horizontal logo, or at least a horizontal version of your logo in that case. And so it was really, really interesting. It was an interesting little experiment, because we spent 2 days on Twitch photoshopping different things in the Steam store to come up with the actual version that ended up going in the game, right? The logo, the color scheme. And the crazy thing was, I realized that having done that with Steam and building something specifically to stand out on Steam, those were lessons that I could carry into the game. So I did something crazy, even crazier than this, and I recolored the entire game to match the scheme that we put on Steam. Fake mock-up Steam. So the game used to be a blue-based game. Actually, the way that I got the original colors for the game is like literally Googling a Tron screenshot and then like copying those colors, because I wanted like that cyberpunky color scheme, and we had stuck to that up until this point. But like one of the things I did was I was like, oh, that monochrome black and white look pops on Steam, right? Like it looks great. So I carried that over to the entire game and made that a core part of the whole thing. now the entire game is monochrome. The entire game is this black on white on like very vibrant colors, right? Like when I put a red for an enemy in there, it pops on that black. It pops. That white on the resources pops on the black. And it was interesting that all this came out of that third person view of not playing my game, not watching my game in the preview window of making a trailer and realizing it doesn't look that interesting, right? And I learned a bunch of other things too, by the way, like disabling the HUD and zooming in on your footage so you can get to the action. Little things like that make a big difference in trailer stuff. But the colors, man, the colors and matching the colors made such a big difference. And I'll let you judge for yourself. I'll show you what it looked like before and what it looks like now, and the whole recolor and restructure based solely on how visible it was on Steam and how it worked in that whole space. But yeah, that was a pro tip that I learned that I thought was interesting. It's backwards is the way most people do it. Most people they put all their assets up after they got the game done. But what if you did your assets first and you designed backwards from the marketing material? That's a little interesting. But that's all I got for you today. I want to shout out and thank you to the patrons for helping me do what I do and keeping Game Dev Underground running. Like I said, some weird, crazy tests like this might not be possible without ad revenue and help from my beautiful, wonderful patrons and viewers like you. So I appreciate everybody that is a part of Game Dev Underground in every capacity, and I want to say thank you. If you want to support Game Dev Underground on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/GameDevUnderground. If you want a community where you never have to dev alone, you can click the Discord link down below and come join 10,000 plus game developers all over the world to hang out and make games together. If you just want to click to the next video, you can do that too. I'll let you get your YouTubes on. But my name is Tim Roswick, and I will talk to you in the next video.